Astrid steps out of her apartment and shivers at the crisp winter air. The northern sky has turned pale pink and blue by the early hour. Even the bright neon lights of the city feel soft and distant through the falling snow. Astrid wraps her scarf a little tighter. She boards the morning train for work. The seats are cold, and too many people crowd around her in silence. Her head is heavy. The chatter in other languages and ringing phones feels like noise she can barely block out. Astrid walks into the office building. Coworkers greet her, but Astrid feels invisible. Even the simplest tasks feel like climbing a mountain. She remembers the criticism from yesterday's meeting echoing in her mind, telling her she is not good enough. At her desk, Astrid nearly drops the stack of papers in front of her when her manager's voice booms through the quiet office. "Astrid, could you stay after the meeting?" her manager asks. Astrid nods, trembling slightly. Inside, her heartbeat thunders in her chest. Astrid knows what is coming. The manager gently but firmly tells her the project she was leading has failed. Astrid feels a wave of shame and anger. Her mind shrinks under those words, whispering, "You knew you couldn't do it." After the meeting, Astrid retreats to the bathroom and sinks to the floor. Her inner world feels broken. Tears track down her cheeks as she stares at herself in the mirror. "Why can't I get this right?" she whispers to her reflection. She washes her face and tries to compose herself. When she leaves the bathroom, her cheeks are streaked with tears. Astrid forces a smile and joins the others. But inside, she feels empty and fragile. After the meeting, Astrid wraps her coat tightly around herself and steps back into the chill winter air. The street lamps glow softly on the untouched snow. On the train ride home, she gazes out the window at blurred city lights, feeling lonely, even among all those people. The apartment building seems empty when she finally returns. She flips on the living room light and watches motes of dust dance in the still air. Astrid's cat, Niska, pads out from the bedroom and rubs against her legs, purring. Astrid manages a small smile and pets the cat, humming gently. "Hey girl," she whispers. Niska seems satisfied, then curls up on the rug. Astrid sighs and sinks onto the couch. Her phone buzzes on the table. It's a message from her childhood friend Lena. "I hope you're okay. I'm here if you need me." Astrid's eyes soften. She wants to reply, but the words stick in her throat. Instead, she sits quietly, staring at the message, too tired to form a reply. As the clock nears midnight, exhaustion wins. Astrid drags herself up and crawls into bed. She lies still, arms crossed, staring at the dark ceiling. Outside, the wind swirls and the winter night is quiet. Miska curls at her feet under the blanket. Astrid closes her eyes and lets the loneliness flood in. Tears begin to fall as the day's failures replay in her mind. That night, Astrid lies in her bed, staring at the shadows on the ceiling. The city outside her window is silent under a thick blanket of snow. She feels a dull ache in her chest, and her thoughts are heavy. Trying to sleep feels impossible. She drifts somewhere between wake and sleep and hears a voice, soft and warm, like sunlight in winter. "Astrid," it calls, gentle but clear. Her eyes dart around the dark room, but she is alone. The voice is calm and kind. "You have grown quiet lately," the voice says. "Tell me what troubles your heart." Her eyes close again, and the dream shifts into a vision. Astrid finds herself standing in a forest under towering pines dusted with snow. The air is crisp and cold, singing against her skin. There is no city here, only tall trees and a path lit by moonlight. She feels a hand lightly touch her shoulder. Astrid turns and sees a figure before her, radiant and beautiful, with gentle eyes that shine like stars. "Who are you?" Astrid asks, her voice small. The figure smiles. "I am a friend from the light," the figure says softly. "You are not alone." Tears well in Astrid's eyes. She wants to believe, but her mind refuses. "How can I believe anything right now?" she whispers. The angelic figure kneels beside her on the mossy forest floor. Astrid can feel warmth emanating from its presence. The figure holds out a hand, comforting and steady. "Come with me, Astrid. I will show you something." With hesitant steps, Astrid takes the angel's hand. The cold night air feels warm around them. They walk along the snow-covered path. Astrid follows, and they move deeper into the woods together. Astrid awakens to a pale dawn creeping through her curtains. Her muscles ache pleasantly from sleep. The dream and the vision still linger warmly in her heart. She sits up slowly, feeling different but unsure how. She notices a small white feather on her bedside table where her hand had rested. It wasn't there before she slept. Astrid picks it up. It is soft and pure and strangely warm to the touch. Remembering her vision, she murmurs, "I am not alone." A quiet comfort settles over her. Her phone buzzes on the bedside table. It is Lena calling. Astrid's fingers are shaking as she answers. "How are you feeling?" Lena asks softly. Her voice is like a winter morning sun breaking through clouds. Astrid swallows. "Better," she manages to say. "I feel different," Lena gently probes. And Astrid tells her about the dream, the forest, the voice, the figure who said she is not alone. There is a long pause on the line. "That sounds like a message from the angels," Lena finally says. "Or like your grandmother is watching over you. Remember how she used to tell us stories under the northern lights? Maybe this was her too." Astrid feels warmth at the thought. Her grandmother, who passed years ago, had always believed in small miracles. Astrid wipes away a new tear and decides to share more about the dream. Lena listens quietly and finally smiles. "Could it help if we get out of the city for a bit? Maybe go somewhere quiet, like you used to love as a child?" Lena suggests. Astrid hesitates, but feels a flicker of hope. "Maybe," she whispers. "Start packing," Lena says. "I'll be there in 10 minutes to pick you up. Let's drive away from all this for a while." Astrid sits on the edge of the bed, heart racing. She finds herself smiling for the first time in days. "Okay," she replies. "Okay." 10 minutes later, a dusty old van rumbles up outside. Lena hops out and calls, "Ready?" Astrid gathers a small duffel bag she had packed in a corner of the bedroom, just in case. They say little as they drive out of the city. Lena finally breaks the silence with small talk about the winding road and the quiet winter night. The van follows narrow roads under a pale moon. Astrid looks out at snowy fields and clusters of pines slipping by. The city lights have faded behind them. After about half an hour, Lena slows the van to a stop at the edge of a dark forest trail. The headlights reveal a thick grove of trees and a blanket of untouched snow. Lena turns and gives Astrid a hug. "Find some peace here," she says. Astrid nods, clutching her warm duffel. Lena points to a thermos and a mug on the passenger seat. "Tea," she smiles. "Your grandma loved chamomile." Astrid chuckles through tears. "Thanks." Lena drives away, the van's taillights disappearing down the snowy road. Astrid stands alone in the hush of night. She uncaps the thermos and takes a sip of the fragrant tea. A gentle warmth spreads through her hands and chest. Pulling her coat closer, Astrid steps onto the narrow path into the woods. The world is quiet, and for the first time in days, Astrid feels ready to listen to whatever comes next. For a moment, Astrid expects to feel afraid as she steps into the silent woods. Instead, she feels only a gentle calm. She thinks about the angel's words and wonders if her mind can truly be like that guiding flame. The fear she felt in the dream still nibbles at her confidence, but now it seems smaller, tamed by the vision. Astrid steps onto a snowy path, disappearing into the pines. The sky above is a deep indigo, sprinkled with stars. Each breath fills her lungs with the sharp scent of pine and earth. She walks slowly, listening to the gentle crunch of snow under her boots, smiling softly. The fox tilts its head, then with a playful skip, it bounds back into the trees. Astrid feels oddly comforted by the encounter. Further down the path, Astrid comes upon a frozen lake partially covered by mist. She approaches the edge and sees her reflection waver in the water under the ice. In the sky above, dark clouds swirl, but to the north a slit opens, revealing a field of sparkling stars and the faint glow of the aurora borealis. The colors dance gently on the horizon, reminding her of ancient northern prayers. For a moment, it looks like the sky itself is offering her a silent message. Astrid feels awe and hope. She takes a deep breath of the cold air. The angel's words echo softly in her mind. Weak thoughts confuse you. Strong thoughts anchor you. Astrid focuses on the warmth of her breath and the solid ground beneath her feet. The wind whispers in the pines, carrying the memory of the fox's song and her own hushed breathing. Opening her eyes, Astrid notices a broken white feather lying in the snow near a frozen reed. She picks it up gently. Even though it is only part of a wing, it is pure and beautiful. Astrid smiles, a tear of gratitude in her eye. She tucks the feather into her pocket. It feels like a sign. Even broken pieces can be beautiful and have purpose. A sudden breeze rustles the treetops. Astrid looks up as a single orange leaf spirals down through the night air. She catches it gently. For a moment, the ordinary leaf glows in the pale moonlight. Astrid marvels. Something so small and simple has traveled through winter to reach her. She tucks the leaf into her coat pocket as well. A quiet joy fills her heart. She is learning that noticing beauty takes courage when the mind is weary. The clearing around her is still and cold, lit by starlight. Astrid finds a fallen log to sit on. She unwraps the thermos Lena gave her and pours warm chamomile tea into the mug Lena left beside it. She breathes in the gentle sweetness and holds the mug between her hands. Each sip warms her from the inside out. The ache in her chest seems to soften, as if the night itself is healing her. Suddenly, the ground beneath the log cracks. Astrid stands up alarmed. and the angel from her dream materializes before her again, as though stepping from a ripple of air. Astrid feels her heart skip a beat, but a peaceful smile touches the angel's face. "You found the small miracles in the world," the angel says, "and that is your strength." Astrid tries to speak, but tears press in her throat. The angel gently lifts a strand of her hair from her face. "Astrid, you have faced your darkest night," the angel continues. "Many wander through life with heavy hearts, but never see the light because they believe only in darkness." Astrid feels warmth spread from her chest to her hands. She remembers the burning flame in the ice and the storm she survived. She also remembers the fox's presence and the falling leaf. All these moments have filled her with gentle courage. "Your mind is like the seasons here," the angel says. "There will be long, cold winters, but spring always returns. A strong mind is flexible like the tree that bends and does not break. You have strength like that, Astrid." Astrid feels hope blossom in her chest. The words make sense deep inside her. "I understand," she whispers. "I will remember." Astrid opens her eyes one final time. The forest clearing is bathed in the gentle glow of the aurora, and there is no one there except for a soft breeze that ripples the trees. She stands slowly, brushing off the fallen snow from her coat. The angel has gone, but its message remains within her. A smile curves her lips. She feels the warmth of the chamomile tea still in her hands and on her cheeks. With steady breath, Astrid steps forward on the snowy path. Each footstep now feels sure and strong. Around her, the night is alive with the distant chorus of morning birds. She knows her journey isn't over, but she carries a new strength in her heart. Not alone, but part of something greater. Astrid walks on through the midnight woods toward the faint glow of the coming dawn. Astrid's boots crunch through the fresh snow as she walks. Soon, the dark silhouettes of the trees begin to thin, and the sky ahead lightens. A pale gold glimmer of the rising sun appears on the horizon, casting a soft glow across the snowy landscape. The air is colder now, tingling on her cheeks like tiny needles, but in her heart there is warmth. She pauses on a small hill and turns around. Behind her lies the dark forest where the angelic journey began. The trees stand silent as guardians of her secret. She breathes in deeply and lets the light of dawn fill her mind. It is quiet, except for the faraway call of a morning bird. Astrid smiles to herself. In this moment, the fear seems distant and small. She thinks about the days ahead. The voice that haunted her mind at work is still there, but now it is softer. Perhaps each day will bring its struggles, but she knows she can meet them with this new light inside. A strong mind, like the angel said, holds firm like the sturdy pines around her. She feels rooted like one of those trees, able to weather storms. Astrid kneels and touches the snow, letting the chill seep through her gloves. As the sun climbs higher, the snow sparkles brilliantly, covering the world in a blanket of light. A snowshoe hare darts across a clearing nearby, its white coat blending with the snow. Astrid watches as it disappears, realizing she too can move gently through this world, blending softly with its beauty. She rises and continues down the path, now more steady and calm with each step. Her footprints mark the snow behind her, but they will soon melt, just as her heavy thoughts did in the warmth of the angel's presence. A path leads her down a gentle slope toward a frozen stream. She kneels by the bank and dips gloved fingers into a hole in the ice. The water is icy but invigorating. She remembers the water flowing in her life, always moving forward. As she stands, Astrid hears voices in the distance. Curious, she follows the sound to the edge of a clearing. There, a few people have gathered around a small log cabin by the stream, sharing morning coffee. They are local villagers, early risers who know the woods. One of them, an elderly woman with rosy cheeks and kind eyes, sees Astrid and greets her with a nod. "Good morning, dear," the woman says in a gentle voice, thick with a northern accent. "Beautiful morning, isn't it? You've come far. Did you find what you were looking for?" Astrid is surprised that the woman seems to understand her journey without her saying a word. She laughs softly. "I found more than I expected," she replies. The woman smiles knowingly. "I can see it. Keep that light with you. Life will test your mind, but remember the strength you have inside." Astrid nods. She has the urge to share everything with this wise stranger, but also realizes that this strength is something she had to discover on her own. Astrid continues along the stream, listening to the rush of water under ice. The sound is peaceful, like a lullaby of nature. The morning sun now warms the tops of the pines, and the sky is a cheerful blue. Suddenly, a shadow crosses her path. A majestic snowy owl glides silently above her, surveying the woods. It lands on a branch nearby, looking at Astrid with wise, yellow eyes. Astrid laughs quietly at the irony. In her city life, she was too busy to notice things like this. Now she has time to see wonders. The owl lifts its wings and takes off, disappearing into the sky. It feels like a promise. She will soar with strength. Astrid presses on, up and over the last rise of land. On the other side, she finds herself facing a small, frozen waterfall surrounded by birch trees. Sunlight creeps down the icy face of the falls, making the ice crystals glitter like a million diamonds. She stands in silence, the crisp, cold air filling her lungs. At this waterfall, she feels the presence of something ancient. Slowly, she sits at the foot of the falls and closes her eyes. Memories come unbidden. She is a child again, running through summer fields with her grandmother by her side, laughing as they chased dragonflies in the golden light. Her grandmother's gentle voice is a whisper in her ear, like a distant lullaby. The fear she felt in the dream seems to evaporate among these happy memories. She realizes that the strength of her mind also comes from love and precious memories. Opening her eyes, she notices a scrap of ribbon caught on a branch above. It is bright blue. Fluttering in the breeze, Astrid reaches out and pulls it free. It reminds her of a ribbon her little niece once gave her. The ribbon is simple, but now it feels like a treasure. She ties the ribbon around her wrist. "For hope," she whispers. Astrid stands, ready to leave the forest. She gathers her belongings, the broken feather, the autumn leaf, and now the blue ribbon. Each is a talisman of something she has learned: beauty in broken things, bravery in small joys, and the color of hope. She feels whole. The morning is fully awake now. She sees the sunlight dance on frost and hears a choir of birds singing the day awake. On the walk back, Astrid feels a lightness in her step. The wolves that once howled in her mind have been replaced by gentle echoes of encouragement. She has one more thought. Her journey was guided, but from now on, her mind is her strongest guide. By mid-morning, she emerges from the woods near a small northern village. Smoke rises from chimneys and children laugh on a sledding hill. She smiles at them, and they wave, unaware of the journey she just had. Astrid knows her path is now intertwined with every path she sees ahead. Later, back in the city, Astrid returns to her daily life, carrying this inner light. She takes the office elevator calmly, stops at the market to buy a bouquet of flowers she puts at her desk, a small act of beauty in the sterile office world. When her manager sees her, Astrid meets his eyes with steady calm and says, "Thank you for giving me the experience." Her words surprise both of them, but in that moment, she feels no shame. Astrid finds herself humming a lullaby under her breath as she works on new projects. The voice that used to tell her she couldn't do anything now sometimes speaks, but it is a quieter inner voice she has learned to soothe. Her mind feels like the sturdy pine. It bends a little in the wind, but it does not break. At home that evening, Astrid opens her window to let in the night air. She sees the faint green shimmer of the aurora again over the city lights. She sits by the window, cradling a warm mug of tea. In the hush of the late hour, Astrid closes her eyes and smiles. She hears a whisper on the wind. "You are not alone, Astrid." She opens her eyes, seeing nothing but the quiet stars. But she believes the message. Astrid's journey has changed her forever. She knows there will be winters in her heart again, but now she will meet them with hope and faith. In the northern night, under the watching angels, Astrid has found the strength of her own heart. Astrid awakens on another winter morning with a comforting memory of the night before. Each day she continues to carry a little light from that experience. She lights a single candle in her apartment at dusk, remembering the candle in the clearing. The flame dances gently, as if in recognition. On the 1-year anniversary of that night in the woods, Astrid visits the clearing, under the stars, once more. She lights a white lantern there as a tribute, remembering exactly where the angel's words first ignited hope in her heart. The snow glittering in the lantern's glow reveals both Astrid's smiling face and the night sky, as if the universe itself is witnessing her transformation. In the days that follow, Astrid's life takes on new meaning. Each morning as dawn breaks over the city, she pauses at the window to remember the warm, golden light she held in the forest cabin. The rising sun over snowy rooftops reminds her that even in darkness, the light returns. The voices in her mind that once taunted her now whisper encouragement. She has learned to let them be, like wind through the pines. Astrid places the broken feather and blue ribbon on her breakfast table. It feels strange to see them among mugs and newspapers, but the tokens make her smile. She sips her tea and feels gentle confidence. A coworker approaches with a nervous question, and instead of panicking, Astrid listens calmly and offers advice. Helping others calms her own mind. Strength, she thinks, is built not only in solitude, but also in compassion. She begins to walk through the city's little parks at lunchtime. It feels like visiting the forest. The scent of pine and frost from a row of small pines brings back memories of the clearing. Birds flit between branches in the park's trees, and Astrid finds herself smiling again. A sparrow hops near her feet, pecking at crumbs. She remembers the fox who once greeted her in the wild. Now even me city birds seem like old friends. One quiet afternoon, Astrid sits in a small community hall among the support group. People share stories of anxiety, heartbreak, and loss. Each person's voice trembles at first, but Astrid gently reassures them, nodding and maintaining a calm presence. When someone starts to cry, Astrid passes tissues and waits with a serene smile. The once broken Astrid now feels strong enough to carry the comforting weight of others' pain. After the meeting, a young man approaches her. "You seem different," he says. "How do you find so much calm?" Astrid thinks a moment and replies honestly, "I found that even in the darkest night, a tiny light can guide you out." It sounds simple, but sometimes all it takes is believing that light is there. The young man, eyes wet, thanks her. Astrid realizes that sharing her experience helps solidify her own faith. That evening, Astrid looks out at the sky again. Stars wheel overhead in perfect silence. She can see the faint glow of aurora, a shifting ribbon of green, flowing across the night sky. The same sky that once felt empty now wraps around her like a comforting blanket. She knows that the angel's voice was not just in dreams. It is in every whisper of wind and every distant star. With that reassurance, Astrid lies down and falls into a peaceful sleep. Several months later, winter returns to the north. Snow falls silently, and the world is quiet once more. Astrid visits the forest trail where it all started, now with Lena by her side. Lena watches as Astrid plants a single white lantern by the frozen clearing, illuminating the snow with a soft glow. Astrid has written hope on the lantern's glass. As they light it together, the flame reflects in the eyes of friends who have come with them. Later, Lena asks Astrid, "Do you still sometimes feel like the girl who was full of doubt?" Astrid looks at the warm lantern light dancing on Lena's face. She thinks for a moment. "She's there," Astrid says softly, "but she's not alone anymore. I carry a light bigger than my doubts now." Lena smiles and gently squeezes her hand, proud of the journey Astrid has made. Back in the city office, something remarkable happens. A new project is announced. It's complicated and deadlines are tight. Astrid's heart still races a little, but instead of panic, she greets the challenge. She approaches it methodically, and when frustrations arise, she breathes and remembers how she stood strong in the clearing. She calls a meeting and calmly outlines the plan. Her team follows her lead, and they tackle the project one step at a time. When it succeeds, instead of worrying, Astrid feels only a quiet joy. At home that evening, Astrid changes into warm clothes and takes a short walk outside. The snow falls gently, each flake unique and perfect. Children laugh in the distance as they build snowmen and snow angels. Astrid smiles. She sees that she has become part of this scene of wonder. She picks up a handful of snow and lets it fall through her fingers, whispering a word of thanks to the angels who guided her. Astrid's story spreads quietly, among friends and family. Her niece calls her a hero, saying she gives her courage. Astrid just laughs and says, "We all have our journey. It's the same light in all of us." She doesn't openly boast about angels. She only shares their influence when someone is hurting. A neighbor once asked her how she stayed calm through troubles. Astrid replied, "I learned to trust the light inside me." On a particularly dark winter night, when the city feels heavy, Astrid steps outside into the falling snow. She stands still, feeling the cold on her cheeks and remembering her angel's warm presence. Snowflakes swirl around her, but her heart is quiet and warm. Astrid realizes that the battle in her mind has turned. It is no longer a war of fear, but a steady watchfire of hope. In this way, Astrid lives each day with balance. She cherishes the strength she has found, yet remains humble about her journey. Every time the northern lights shimmer across the sky, she smiles and thinks, "There is always light, even when we can't see it." And every time doubt creeps in, she recalls the warmth of that candle flame in the frozen clearing and remembers that she holds a strong mind within her gentle heart.